Good morning students, 12th standard physics. So in this class we are going to discuss about methods of producing induced EMF. So according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, an EMF is induced in the circuit when magnetic flux linked with it changes. So whenever a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, there is an induced EMF produced in the circuit. So that induced EMF magnitude is equal to d pi by dt. So that is pi is a magnetic flux. So pi is equal to b dot a, so ba cos theta. So the magnitude of induced EMF is get through by changing the magnetic flux. So the magnetic flux have three parameters: magnetic field, area of the coil, then orientation of the coil. So first, so the induced EMF can be produced by changing the any one of the following cases. So this is a repeated 3-mark question or 2-mark question. So what are the methods of producing induced EMF? By changing the magnetic field. So by changing the magnetic field, we can produce induced EMF. By changing the area of the coil. So by changing the area of the coil, we can produce induced EMF. And finally, by changing the relative orientation theta of the coil with the magnetic field, we can produce induced EMF. So first, by changing the magnetic field, we are going to produce. So how is it possible? So the Faraday's first experiment and second experiment shows it clearly by relative motion between the circuit and the magnet. So this is a circuit is connected with the galvanometer, then on bar magnet. So bar magnet is moving towards the coil. So there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the coil changes. There is an induced EMF produced in the coil. So there is an induced current. So it is shown through the galvanometer. So by changing the magnetic field, that is a magnetic field means the magnetic field lines passes through the area, that is magnetic flux. Then second experiment, variation in the current flowing through the nearby coil. So consider a coil is connected to the battery and key. The key is closed. So current flows inside the circuit. So it changes from 0 to maximum. So there is a change in current. So there is a change in magnetic field. So the magnetic flux. So magnetic flux linked with the nearby coil. There is an induced EMF produced in the coil. So it has seen through the galvanometer. So by changing the magnetic field, we can produce induced EMF. First one, we are using a bar magnet as a magnetic field source. Here second experiment, we are using a coil. So current carrying conductor. So around the current carrying conductor, there is a magnetic field. So the magnetic field, that is magnetic field lines. So the magnetic flux linked with the nearby coil produces a induced EMF. That is producing induced EMF using the coil. So in this class, we have discussed. So what are the methods of producing induced EMF? 3 cases. Then specially we have discussed by changing the magnetic field how the induced EMF